Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Almost Game Day. I'm your host, Sean Green, and this is somewhat like my season finale for the fall semester. I'll be going into some more details later on in the show, but this is the season finale week for the first real season of the HTFN shows. It's been a massive success, and I'm excited to talk to you more about what's to come later on in the show. But yesterday was a bittersweet day for many UCF football fans. Usually I'm in some, button-down shirt, a shirt that usually is presentable on camera, but I felt with McKenzie Milton, I would, rep my school, UCF, rep some of its colors on one of the final shows of the season. I kind of wanted to go into what McKenzie Milton has done for this program. Any UCF football fan could know and knows exactly what McKenzie Milton has done. He brought a team that was in ruins, 0-12, comes in his freshman year, again, doesn't have the best year, but you see progress, and then his sophomore year takes off and does great things for the school. You look at what he did under Scott Frost, and even the year or two he did under Heupel, and to see him now transfer, it's a bittersweet day. He transferred yesterday. He announced he's transferring yesterday, and I kind of saw the writing on the wall. Okay, you look at the basically new quarterbacks that are coming in. You see, this is Dylan Gabriel's team now, and McKenzie Milton knows that. He's not stupid. I think many UCF fans were talking throughout this season about, oh my gosh, if McKenzie Milton is healthy and he's 100%. Who do you start? You have the guy that saved your program and brought you to heights you were never at. To then this kid that comes in who's really good and is in Heisman conversations like McKenzie Milton. How do you go along that road? How do you do that? And nobody knew. Nobody knew what Heupel was going to do. So I think McKenzie Milton saw that writing on the wall. And with Dylan being so close to him, he thought, it's best for me to transfer, get that year that I know I can have, instead of having to compete with a guy that he loves so dearly, in Dylan. He knows this is Dylan's team now. He knows the team has moved in a different direction. I would have loved to see McKenzie come compete and potentially start. I've never seen a talent like him. He's a quarterback. UCF fans will never see another quarterback like him. You may see another superstar quarterback come into UCF. You'll see those type of guys. But you're never going to see a all-around guy that could handle the pressure that McKenzie did and still win all those games. He won, 23 straight? That's unheard of in college football. It's unheard of. So now we talk what he's going to do. Where is he going to go? And I think, number one, if any UCF fan is mad at this decision, I don't know how you could be a true UCF fan, because real UCF fans had to go through an 0-12 season. Like, people, I think now it's like people forget about it because UCF's this big football program. If it wasn't for this kid, we wouldn't be where we are. UCF would not be where it is. So he's making the right decision for him. I think I'm so excited, and I think many UCF fans are so excited to see where he goes and what he does next. And I'll tell you this, wherever he goes, I will be watching every game because I want to see him succeed. I think he is such a good player, and I'm so excited to see where he goes. With that being said, I think there's two spots. There's two, and I think many people have guessed it, but we need to go through it and kind of break down what this kind of means. Obviously, number one is Nebraska, right? You got Scott Frost. Milton was thinking about transferring to Nebraska when Scott Frost left, but he ended up staying with the Knights. So Scott Frost has had a tough time in Nebraska. It's been rough as a coach. He's stuck with Martinez pretty much his entire coaching tenure there. It has not worked out. Many people are calling for his head, calling that he should be fired on the spot, fired immediately. I think this might save his job. And I'm being completely honest. If McKenzie Milton says, I'm going to go to Nebraska, play under Scott, this could save Frost's job because that will get Nebraska Cornhusker fans excited about the season. Now, let me just make this, apparent. Nebraska fans are always excited about Nebraska football, but they're always the most ruthless too if your team's not doing too hot. So I think this might save Scott Frost's job if he can bring Milton to Nebraska. If he can bring Milton here or bring him to Nebraska, that will save Scott Frost's job and buy him a little extra time, especially if Milton does well. Because then that would give Nebraska fans confidence that if Frost can get a elite level quarterback, they're going to be a good team. Martinez is not the guy. I think most Cornhusker fans agree. He's just not the guy. So obviously that's the first place. The second place I would be really intrigued to see is UF. And I think a lot of people have seen there's reports that there's possibly Milton really wants to play for Dan Mullen. I would really, really love to see that. Reason I don't see it happening. Florida, top 10 college football program under Dan Mullen. They've been exceptional the last couple of years. Dan Mullen has only made it better every single year. You have guys, it's just like UCF, right? And that's why Milton saw. You have Dylan Gabriel, but then you have other guys waiting in the wings. Mikey Keene coming from Arizona, Park Navarro. These guys are coming to take the next steps in the program. So at a place like UF, you've got quarterbacks waiting in the wings. Is Dan Mullen, after Kyle Trask, really going to want to go to McKenzie Milton coming off of the injury, not seeing him play, even though there's no signs of him being bad or anything like that? You've seen him in videos on the scout team. I think I wouldn't be as confident in McKenzie going to Florida, not because he couldn't perform. I think McKenzie, that would be so exciting to see him play at UF, at Ben Hill Griffin, and in the SEC, Power 5 school. I just don't know if Mullen would be the type that would be like, you know what, yep, we're going to put him as our starter for the entire year, even though we've got some 4 or 5-star recruits coming back. Even though, listen, McKenzie Milton is, by all accounts now, people would view him as a 5-star recruit. I just don't know. I feel like Nebraska, Frost would put him in the starting job right away. Mullen, I don't know if he would. So if I were to bet on it, and I think most people would bet, you'd go Nebraska because you would start right away. You'd be the starter. You'd be the guy. UF, there's other guys you're competing with. So if you're going to UF and you're competing, you might as well just stay to UCF and compete with Dylan Gabriel. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting. I'm excited to go I'll watch wherever he goes. I'm so excited to see where he goes. I have the delay on my mic to support. I just think for all that he's done for this program, this is the little thing that I can do to show my appreciation for bringing UCF football back to where it really belongs, in the top of the conversation. And hopefully UCF football next year can figure this out and get back to where they were a couple years ago. Heupel had something with McKenzie back in 2018. So hopefully UCF football can figure it out with Dylan under center and get that undefeated year or make it back to a New Year's Six bowl game. All right. With that being said, let's go into touchdown picks of the week. Obviously, last week I had my Thanksgiving picks. We went 1-1 in those, so, yeah, stinks. I really believed in the Lions. I don't believe in the Lions anymore. But the Texans are on the come up. So let's go to that first game. Colts versus Texans. Listen, the Texans have played extremely well the last couple weeks, beating the Patriots, killing the Lions on Thanksgiving. The Texans are playing out of their mind. No question about it. Here's my only problem. I still don't know what the Colts are. The Colts can have a stellar week. Perfect example is against the Titans. First time they play the Titans, they kill them. I think it was 34-17. Titans look absolutely horrible. Second time they played them, Titans blew the doors off them. It wasn't even close. So, in my viewpoint, I'm going to do what the Colts usually do. I'm not basing it off of how good the Texans are playing. Now, the Texans just did lose Will Fuller. I really liked the Texans this week, but they lost their number one receiver. I don't know how confident I am in the Texans without Will Fuller there. Now, you've got Brandon Cooks and a bunch of tight ends. Kenny Stills is out. Randall Cobb's out. So, I don't know how confident I am in the Texans. I think Colts blow them out. The spread is -3. I think the Colts blow them out. Don't be surprised, though. Second time they play, the Colts will, give a bunch of points, and Texans will beat the Colts the second time they play. This week, I say take the Colts. The Colts are going to do great against the Texans. It should be an easy game this week. Next game, Titans-Browns. The Browns they're so confusing. I don't know. I don't know what to do with these guys. The Titans are the same way. The Titans are up and down. One week they look like this perennial, 1 or 2 seed or 3 seed with the way that they actually play the game. Like, how do you beat a team that can throw and run exactly how the Titans do? But then they have these off weeks where it looks like they're just not the same team. It's almost like if you hold Derrick Henry just a tad, they're not good at all because they can't. It seems like A.J. Brown is their number one guy on the wideout. Then Derrick Henry is their number one guy running the ball. So if you have a good corner and you have a good line, you stop the Titans because A.J. Brown's not going to get his 85-yard touchdowns and Derrick Henry's not going to get his 85-yard touchdowns. I do like the Titans this week, though. I don't think the Browns match up great against the Titans. Looking at how they play the Jaguars, now, everybody gives flack for the Jaguars. The Jaguars play hard. They play hard each week. The Jaguars rarely get blown out now. So, for everybody saying the Jaguars stink, yes, they do. But they're going to be good next year if they can get a quarterback. There's no question. But looking at this line, I think the Titans are just the better team. I think it is a touchdown, type of win. The Browns don't play like their record. And I think you see that about a lot of the teams in that division. The Steelers, they're undefeated, but they don't play like they're undefeated. They don't look like an 11-0 football team. I don't think the Browns look like a 7-3, 8-3 football team either. I think they look like a 500 type of football team. They played good games and won them enough wins. So I think the Titans embarrass them here. I don't think it's that close. And I think that defense is going to get after Baker Mayfield. So I'm going to go Titans to win and cover at -5.5. Saints versus Falcons. This was such a hard game to bet on, to be completely honest with you. I'm so excited for this game because I love what the Falcons are doing. I am so impressed. They are not blowing leads. They're keeping leads. They're pounding the team they're playing. Here's my problem. The Saints and Falcons played a couple weeks ago, and Taysom Hill was the quarterback. And it looks like the Falcons couldn't get anything going against that Saints defense. I am looking at it, and Taysom Hill's already played the Falcons. I think there's going to be a good enough game plan to attack that Falcons defense. It was 24-9. So, again, it wasn't a blowout, but it was a 15-point win. It wasn't close. Falcons only put up 9 points. I'm going to go Saints win and cover here. Again, I hate it, but I also love it. I hate it because I really like what the Falcons are doing, and I think the Falcons watch, because in a couple weeks, the Falcons have to play the Bucs twice. The Falcons are going to take one of those games. The Falcons are good enough right now to beat the Bucs with that offense that they have. I think the Saints win and cover this week, but watch out for the Falcons. They're not making the playoffs, but the Falcons are a team you do not want to play right now. Rams, Cardinals. This was a weird one. Both these teams are so confusing. It's like all these NFL teams. The Rams are a team. First of all, Rams can't beat the 49ers. It's just that simple. I thought they would have, figured it out by now. But clearly they haven't. The Cardinals, ever since that, miraculous Hopkins catch, they look kind of lackluster. They don't look like the same team. Playing against the Patriots, it's like the whole game is a micromanage. They're not trying to win the game. They're just not trying to lose it. Kyler, I don't know if it was the shoulder. I don't think it was. He just looked off. He wasn't running the ball as much. He was being very hesitant. Against this Rams front, they're going to get after him. I think this is a must-win for the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals win and cover here. I like the spot at home, coming off of a couple losses. They need a win. They're 6-5 right now. They can't go to 6-6. They'll be out of the playoffs at 6-6. They've got a good enough team. I say Cardinals win and cover here. The Rams, again, the Rams are a solid football team. It's this up and down roller coaster. They're good, but then they're not good. So now you can look at the Rams' loss and say, well, they've lost to the 49ers twice out of the 3 or 4 losses they have. That's incredible. I just think the Cardinals right now, again, they're both hungry dog runs faster. Rams lost, Cardinals lost. I'm going to go Cardinals here. I don't love it. Again, I don't love some of these games. The spreads are too close, so it's more of like a pick 'em. You're picking who wins, and I don't love the Cardinals spread here. I just don't. Chiefs, Broncos. I'm not going to spend much time on this game. Chiefs are going to blow the doors off of them. Last time they played them, it was like snowing. It was like a torrential downpour with snow. The Chiefs are going to blow the Broncos out. The Broncos are just not good. Quarterback's coming off, the COVID reserve, not even getting COVID, but having to sit out the last game. Turmoil inside the building with, the Broncos talking bad about the quarterbacks. It's a mess in Denver right now. So I'm going to go with the team that is playing very well. Beat Tampa last week. I like the Chiefs here at -14 on Sunday Night Football. The reason this is the Sunday Night Football is because you're getting Patrick Mahomes. Nobody wants to come see the Broncos. So, Chiefs win and cover at -14. Steelers, Washington. This is a very interesting game. All right. Again, you look at the Steelers' schedule, and they very well may go undefeated. You're looking at the schedule, and I'm like, I think they'll beat this team. I think they'll beat this team. There's no team that I'm looking at that I'm like, wow, this is gonna give the Steelers a run for their money. The two teams that you're like, maybe Colts and Browns, but I don't see the Colts or Browns beating the Steelers. This week is interesting. Washington's defense is serious. They are. Just like the Steelers' defense. These are two very good defensive teams. The Steelers are a much better team. They have a much better offense than Washington does. So for that reason, the Steelers are obviously, I think they're going to win the game, but Washington's going to keep it close. That spread is way too much. Plus 10? 10 points? You're giving 10 points to Washington. I think Alex Smith lights up some of this Steelers secondary. I think Terry McLaurin has a big game. But again, it's not going to be high scoring. It's going to be very... Washington will move the ball. The Washington football team will move the ball around. No question. But they're not good enough to beat the Steelers. They're good enough to keep it close. They're not good enough to win the game. So I think Steelers win. Washington covers at +10. Bills 49ers. Again, 49ers, I think they can play defense. They can. They stop Jared Goff. He is a pocket passer, so it's a little bit different than who they're playing this week in Josh Allen. I like the 49ers in this spot against the Bills. The Bills, again, the Bills show up when they want to show up. They don't play great every week. It's this give or take mentality that some weeks they look like a great playoff team. The next weeks they look like, what are you guys doing? The Bills are a first-round playoff exit. They are really good, but they're a piece or two away, especially on the defensive side of the ball, until they become really good. Josh Allen's had a great year, no question. I do think the 49ers win and cover at +2. I think this is a perfect spot for the 49ers coming off of a big win against the Rams. They're trying to make some noise. Listen, bad season for the 49ers because of all the injuries. They're playing for pride. They're trying to mess up other people's chances. Beat the Rams. They're coming in trying to win these games against these playoff teams and saying, listen, don't forget about us. We are still here. So I'm going to go 49ers win and cover at +2 here. I think the Bills might have an off game on offense. Do not be surprised if some of these receivers don't have as big of games. I think you're going to see the Bills are going to struggle here. And if it's any testament, I don't think it's that close of a game. I think the 49ers, it's not going to be a blowout, but I think the 49ers handle the Bills pretty good here. And with that is sort of the season finale of Almost Game Day. We've got one more episode coming out in a couple weeks on Christmas Day. It's the Almost Game Day Christmas Day special. We got a bunch of NBA games, NFL down the line. NBA is going to be a big part of our show come in the spring. And we got a bunch of guests coming up in the spring with the NBA and NFL. So stay tuned for that. But with that being said, we have so much to be thankful for here at HTFN. When I came up with the idea for HTFN, I said it at the beginning and I'll say it now. I couldn't have imagined what it would turn into. To go from one show hitting the field, the main staple, the main show that's been here for years, to go from that one show to 6 just seemed impossible at times. And I'm so grateful and so honored that all the people that did put in the hard work and dedication to their shows or to the shows. I'm just so grateful that you came along the ride. I'm so grateful that we're going to continue this. And with that being said, I do have a couple of thank yous that I would like to say before I go. I would do it on the Christmas Day special, but I'd much rather get it out on the week that most of the shows are in their season finales. So first off, I want to start off with Jarrett Kappelman. First guy that I really, truly met at UCF. He brought me into HTF. And without his leadership, I would have not been able to come to him with this idea and basically do it. I was nervous at first because, again, we were in a pandemic. We were all quarantined. I didn't know how he would feel about this idea. But to his credit, as a true leader, he said, do it. I have faith in you. I trust you. And let's do it. And without that trust in me, we wouldn't have been able to do this. So for that, Jared, I really appreciate it. He always kills it with everything he does. So big thank you to Jarrett for saying yes to this, because I think it's going to help all of us in many, many ways. Second, I want to thank John Whitley. I actually went to him first with the idea because I didn't know how crazy it sounded. And to his credit, he said, sounds like a great idea. We need to go and talk about it and see if we can do this. And also, there's a reason he has his own show. The guy knows how to talk to people. It's great when you can get him and one or two other people to talk about a topic, because the conversation is good. It's a great conversation always. So I appreciate John for all his hard work and dedication to this, and to see the vision that I had. It's really meant a lot, so I appreciate him for his friendship. Johnny Jackson. This guy is one of the most talented kids I've seen in a while. And he's not even a kid. He's a couple years younger than us, but he's got so many years on him in regards to stuff for this. He's done every single graphic that you've seen this season for Almost Gameday and for all the other shows, on top of what he's doing for his own show. So he's going to be a great leader, and I'm so happy that he took that ride with me over the summer. Again, if you would have seen what we were doing over the summer for this show, we would be on Zoom calls until 4 a.m, working on graphics, figuring out what looks the best. It was absolutely insane. And we've still got work to do in December to make sure that some of these shows in the spring are up to par and continue to get better. But there would be no HTFN without Johnny Jackson. There's no question. I could say that and be very confident. Johnny Jackson is the heart of HTFN and what it stands for. Hard work, getting better at things you may not be good at, and putting in the hours that it takes to do this show and all the shows. So I appreciate Johnny Jackson. I appreciate every woman that's been on Girls on Deck. Kayla Burge is, taking the lead on it. I want to thank Lindsay Tellez for what she did on Girls on Deck, and then every other girl and woman that has been on Girls on Deck. Sorry, the title in my head, Girls on Deck. I can't thank you guys enough. I think what you've done with it is incredible. I'm so excited to continue working on it. I've got one more semester left. I'm going to do everything in my power to continue to make it better. I think we've got something in that show, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. Robert Husby, Nick Geddes, Okello Pena. Probably, I love my show, but one of my favorite shows to come out is HTF Bets. I had those guys in mind, and it's exceeded my expectations when it comes to content. So I appreciate your guys' hard work. I know, listen, Okello, I know I give you a hard time, but Okello is one of the most genuine guys you'll meet, and I appreciate him for making great content, because that's what it's all about. Nick, Robert, I like you guys a lot. You've done great this semester. Robert produced a great show, editing every week. He killed it. So I appreciate them for their hard work. And then everybody else in HTFN, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know I might, and we might have asked for a lot. We're asking, social media team. See, another person. Thank you to the social media team. Julia, Q, you guys killed it this year. I know sometimes I can ask for stuff really quick. All the shows need to get at a certain time. We need tweets at a certain time. Thank you for putting up with it. Thank you for putting up with me. I appreciate you guys more than you know. And then everybody else in HTFN. There's so many opportunities here at HTFN. So many opportunities to get better, to be on camera, behind the camera. I know many of the production people kind of got the short end of the stick this year since we didn't get to go into the studio to do these shows. It was a lot of remote work, and I understand that. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure that everybody at HTFN feels like they have a spot at the table. That's the goal. That's the number one goal. And for everybody that went on a show or went to a meeting or gave feedback, I appreciate you, because all this work needed a bunch more people. It couldn't have just been the showrunners. It needed a bunch of other people. So I appreciate everybody that's joined. And for those that want to join, please join. We've got so much great things in the spring, so much more coming. I'm so excited to see what the future holds. All right, guys, that is it for Almost Game Day. Whew, finally. If you want to be a part of the HTF family, again, or if you want to DM me, my Twitter is right there. HTF Twitter, right there. We have Instagram too. Go DM us, follow us, stay up to date with everything that's going on in HTF. Then, again, we need people. Come and join. I've said it like 3 times in this outro. Come join. We have so many opportunities. Whether you want to be in front of the camera, behind the camera, we promise you will get on camera if you want to be on camera, and we'll figure out with the production how we're going to do that, but we are going to create production opportunities for those in the field. All right. This has been Almost Game Day, and it is Almost Game Day. Enjoy the games this weekend, guys, and I will see you on the 25th.